one man who was standing off to the side at the news conference yesterday, staring at his shoes. This was the man who was going to rein in Donald Trump and make sure that everything now happened by the books. And so what would never happen would be that the president would go down to make a statement about infrastructure and ending up praising the KKK instead. In effect, what do you think John Kelly's thoughts are today?
I mean, we got a glimpse of it in that NBC video. He just looked horrified. Like there was this kind of like wave of anxiety crossing over his face. He was looking down at his shoes. His arms were crossed. I mean, he looked how we all felt. And when he was asked to take this job, you know, he asked a lot of his friends, should I do it? And everyone said no. Like that there's no way that you come out of this clean. Look at other respectable people like H.R. McMaster. You know, maybe Mattis is one of the few who's been able to sort of preserve his reputation because he has a little bit of distance and independence from the president. But if you're in Trump's inner circle, I mean, you're going down with him. So you got to be wondering if he's regretting taking this job. I mean, he's, by all accounts, a very respected man with support on both sides of the aisle, which is increasingly unusual in Washington.
Well, Chuck Todd said something interesting on NBC News last night to Lester Holt. He said, he said, I think this is what we should be looking for. He said to see, he wouldn't be surprised if reports we start hearing soon that John Kelly is on the phone trying to convince certain key staffers and members of the administration not to quit.
Yeah, I mean, that would be interesting.
And I was wondering whether John Kelly is going to be asking himself, should I quit?
I mean, it really is a strange moral dilemma. You know, I think there is, or maybe there was, a compelling moral argument at some point that Trump is going to have people around him. And if you're kind of a duty to country kind of man like John Kelly is, he spent decades in public service, you could kind of talk yourself into believing that it's better that I'm around him than somebody who's less smart and capable and moral than me.
Right.
I think James Comey did that for a while before he was fired. You know, he didn't speak out about all these kind of missteps by Trump because he thought he and he alone perhaps could prevent Trump from doing more damage. Once it becomes clear that you can no longer, or that you cannot have a positive effect on the president's behavior and his policies, I think any moral person must be asking themselves, at what point do I just become complicit in all this?
Right. And it was also, I thought, very significant that Trump, he planned this yesterday. I mean, he had a copy of his remarks on Saturday in his pocket. So when he went down there, he knew why he was going down there. He had no intention of talking about infrastructure.
No.
This was his chance to get even and basically get out of the box, because they put him in a box on Monday where they made him read it. Maybe it was Kelly who said, no, this is important that you get this right. Read it from the teleprompter.
And if you just watch Trump's expression on the day where he's saying the KKK is bad, neo-Nazis are bad, he's so clearly just reading word for word. Right. It's not natural. It's not coming from him. And yesterday, I think it was the most passionate I've seen him in a long time, including when he's defending these really terrible allegations about collusion with Russia. Like, he was more riled up about this.
Oh yeah. It was his body language and his tone and all of that yesterday. I was watching, just going like, he is so excited,
so revved up about
to talk about this of all things. It was remarkable.
He had kind of a throwaway line like, can I get a question about infrastructure? Like, he didn't want to talk about infrastructure.
But bring this back to John Kelly for a second. Like, this is the problem. This is who Trump is. That cake is baked.
And even if you do talk him into saying something halfway reasonable one day, that just makes him mad.
Yeah.
He doesn't like being told what to do.
He just gets bottled up.
Yeah.
It just gets bottled up, and then it just pops like it did yesterday.